Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, right? You walk into your office and you find out that this heavy, frustrating task that usually takes you like 8 full hours, well, suddenly it can be finished in 3 minutes.
Yeah, and not just finished quickly, but done perfectly.
Exactly. Done perfectly. And, that is not a scene from some science fiction movie. According to the document we're looking at today, that is the exact reality of the world we are living in right now.
It really is a profound shift. And I think when you realize that this is happening around you every single day, well, it is very easy to feel completely overwhelmed by it all.
Oh, totally. You look at the news, you look at your computer, and the information it just never seems to stop.
Right. So if you are out there feeling a sense of panic or just confusion about where the world is going, you are absolutely not alone.
And that feeling, that sense of being overwhelmed, is exactly why we are here with you today. We are doing a deep dive into an incredibly insightful guide, and it's called How to Face the AI Era.
It is a great guide. And the mission for our conversation today is very clear. We really want to cut through all that noise.
Yes, cut through the noise and figure out exactly how to understand this new technology step by step. We want to help you replace that panic with power.
Exactly. We want to show you how to actually use it in your daily life. And, we're going to do this carefully.
Right. No rushing.
Yeah, we are going to take our time. We will walk through the concepts in this guide very slowly because our goal is to understand the core message without getting lost in all the technical confusion.
So to make sure we do that, let's set some rules of engagement right now. We are going to use clear, simple English today.
I love that rule.
Yeah, we want to make sure everyone can follow along comfortably, no matter your background. So no complicated computer jargon, no academic slang.
Right, none of that.
We will speak deliberately, and we will repeat the most important ideas so that everything makes complete sense to you.
I really think that is the most important rule we can have. I mean, the concepts we are discussing are massive, but they do not need to be complicated.
Exactly.
We're going to explain not just what is happening, but exactly how and why it is happening.
So let's jump right in. If we want to figure out where we are going in the future, well, we first have to clearly define exactly where we are right now.
Yeah, and the source guide gives us a very clear map for this. It lays out a timeline of the last few years.
Right. It calls this the timeline of a brand new era.
And this timeline is crucial, really, because it reveals the speed of the change.
Yes, the speed.
Yeah, it is the speed that catches people off guard, I think. The guide starts by pointing us back to the year 2023.
2023. I mean, that really does not feel very long ago at all.
No, not at all.
But the guide marks this as a major turning point in human history. It says that around 2023, something called ChatGPT and these things called large language models became widely known to the normal public.
So let's break down why that moment mattered so much. Because before 2023, artificial intelligence, or AI, was mostly just a quiet research topic.
Like stuck in university.
Exactly. It was something people studied in university laboratories, or it was a secret project locked inside very big technology companies.
Right.
But in 2023, it crossed the line. It became public. Literally anyone could open a web browser and just talk to it.
And the guide uses a very specific term for this new type of public tool. It calls it generative AI.
Yes, generative.
Why is that word generative so important? Like, what exactly is it generating?
Well, it uses the word generative because this type of AI does not just find things. It actually creates new things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it generates brand new content from scratch. And the guide is very specific about the list of things it can generate.
What's on the list?
It can generate text, like writing an original article or an email or even a poem. It can generate images, drawing a picture that has literally never existed before.
That is wild.
It can generate audio, like making a highly realistic human voice. It can generate moving video. And it can even generate code for computer programming.
Text, images, audio, video, and code. I mean, that is a massive capability. I want to make sure we really understand how this works because, honestly, it sounds like magic.
It does feel like magic at first.
Think about traditional computer software, right? Traditional software is kind of like a jukebox in a restaurant. You push a button, and it plays a pre-recorded song.
Right, just find something that is already there.
Exactly. But generative AI is completely different. It is like having a live jazz band sitting in your living room.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah, you just tell them a mood like, hey, play something sad and slow, and they compose a brand new song right on the spot. It is creating, not just searching.
That is a perfect way to picture it, really. It is composing answers on the spot based on your exact instructions. So that was the breakthrough of 2023. Yeah, we got the live jazz band, but then the timeline in our text moves forward very quickly to the year 2025.
Okay, so what shifted in 2025? Because creating text and images already seems pretty advanced to me.
Well, in 2025, the text tells us that these large language models became much stronger in a very specific area. And that area is reasoning.
Reasoning. Wow, that is a very human word.
It is.
When I think of reasoning, I think of logic. I think of, looking at a hard problem, breaking it down into smaller pieces, and solving it step by step. How does a computer reason?
Well, that is exactly what the computer started doing. Instead of just guessing the next word to make a pretty sentence, the AI actually learned to pause.
Really? It pauses.
Yeah, it learned to look at a complex question, break that question into smaller logical steps, verify each step, and then give a much deeper answer.
Oh, wow.
Because the AI became better at reasoning, the guide explains that it could suddenly solve much more complex problems. It could explain difficult ideas clearly to users.
So it's not just a toy anymore.
Exactly. It was no longer just generating a simple poem. It was doing real logical work.
Which brings us right to the present moment in this timeline, the year 2026.
Right.
The guide says that by 2026, things called AI, APIs, and AI agents are entering real, everyday applications. It says AI is moving out of simple chat boxes on your screen and moving directly into major physical industries.
And the list of industries the text provides, that is what makes this so serious.
Yeah, it lists a lot of them.
It says AI is moving into everyday business. It is moving into education, into scientific research, into engineering, into healthcare, and even into factory manufacturing.
Okay, I have to pause here. I really want to push back on this, or at least express how uncomfortable this feels to me.
Yeah. Okay.
If we look at this timeline, it feels like AI went from just learning how to speak a basic sentence in 2023 to instantly managing complex factory floors and healthcare systems in 2026.
Yeah, it is a massive leap.
Are we really handing over factories to something that just learned to talk 3 years ago? I mean, is that speed not absolutely terrifying?
Look, it is entirely reasonable to feel terrified by that speed. When you see it laid out on a timeline like that, it looks like a blur.
It really does.
But if we look closely at the mechanism described in the text, we can actually understand why this shift is happening so fast.
Okay, why is it?
It is the fundamental jump from AI being a toy to AI being a tool that makes independent decisions.
So what exactly is the difference between the toy and the decision-making tool?
Well, in 2023, you had a chat box, right? That was a fascinating toy. People played with it to write funny stories.
Yeah, we all did that.
But by 2026, the text talks about an AI agent. And an agent is very different from a chat box.
How so?
An agent in a hospital scheduling system or an agent in a manufacturing plant is actually given a goal.
A goal?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks at the data, it reasons through the problem, and it makes a decision to solve that problem without a human having to click a button for every single step.
Wow. So a toy waits for you to play with it, but an agent actively works for you to solve a problem.
Exactly.
That is a massive shift. And, knowing that machines are now making decisions in the background of our lives forces a really uncomfortable question for the listener.
It really does.
Where is all of this going, and what does it mean for my daily life?
And the guide asks that exact question. How should we face this AI era? Should we be afraid of it? Should we run away and just reject it?
Well, we are going to answer those questions today. Now, this speed feels completely new and foreign to us. It feels unprecedented.
It does.
But the source material points out a very comforting fact. Human history has actually seen massive rapid shifts before. We have survived things like this.
Yes, we have. And the text helps calm our fear by connecting this moment to the bigger picture of human history.
That's reassuring.
It compares the AI era we are in right now to two great historical revolutions from our past.
The first historical moment the text brings up is the Industrial Revolution. It talks specifically about the invention of the steam engine.
Right, the steam engine.
Let's really think about the steam engine for a second. The text says the steam engine changed the world by building factories, railways, ships, and modern industry.
We really have to imagine the sheer physical weight of that change. Because before the steam engine, every single thing in the world was powered by human muscle, by animal muscle, or by the wind.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. If you wanted to move a ton of rocks, you needed horses and humans sweating for days. It was agonizingly slow.
And then suddenly a machine arrives. You burn coal, you make steam, and this machine can pull incredibly heavy trains across metal railways.
Exactly.
It can push massive steel ships across the deep ocean. The steam engine created massive, undeniable physical changes in the real world. It completely transformed physical labor.
It really did. The steam engine conquered physical effort and physical distance. But then the text brings up the second great revolution to help us understand AI.
What's the second word?
It brings up the internet era.
Right. The text tells us that the internet changed the world again. But, the internet did not move physical rocks or pull heavy trains.
I know, it didn't.
The internet moved invisible things. It connected people across the world. It connected information. It connected businesses. And it connected vast amounts of knowledge across the entire globe instantly.
So we have the steam engine, which gave us physical power, and we have the internet, which gave us digital connection and information flow.
Okay, I follow that.
Now, the text suggests that AI is the third great revolution. But we need to ask, why does AI get to be its own revolution? How is it different from just being a better internet?
That is the core question right there. What is the mechanism that makes AI special? And the text gives a very clear answer. It says AI is different because of its unique ability to combine things.
Yes, to combine things. And the guide provides a very specific list of what AI connects.
What is connect?
It says AI can connect physical machines, computers, websites, raw data, software programs, physical robots, and human knowledge.
Wow. So it is taking the heavy physical power of the steam engine era, and it is taking the fast digital connection of the internet era, and it is weaving them together into one intelligent system.
Exactly. Let's look at the specific example the text gives about a website. Because this really shows how our fundamental relationship with computers is changing.
Yes, the text says that in the normal internet era, a website simply showed us information.
Right, just a static page.
You click a link, you read the text, you click another link. It is just a digital piece of paper. But the guide says that in the AI era, a website might now talk with users and help solve problems.
It's a huge difference.
I want to stop and think about that. How does a website talking to us change our basic relationship with computers?
Well, it changes it from a one-way street to a two-way conversation.
A conversation?
Yeah. In the past, a machine only ran automatically. You pressed a button, and the machine performed one rigid action. It did not know who you were or what you actually wanted.
Right. It's pretty dumb.
But the text explains that now, a machine may actually understand your specific instructions.
So instead of me having to learn the computer's complicated language, the computer has finally learned my language.
Precisely. And, this applies to physical things, too. The text notes that a physical robot may not only move its arms.
What else will it do?
It may also think, respond to your voice, and actually assist families. The computer is no longer just a cold screen you stare at. It is an active thinking assistant that works with you.
If machines can now understand our instructions, and if websites can talk to us to actively solve our problems, well, that forces a huge transition in our daily lives.
It definitely does.
If the computer's doing the solving, what happens to the work? This brings us to a concept the text focuses on heavily, which is a massive leap in human productivity.
Productivity really is the central engine of this entire guide.
It is.
The text makes a very bold, specific claim about time. It states that because AI can understand instructions and combine data, tasks that used to take humans hours to finish may now take only minutes.
Let's explain the mechanism of that time savings. Like, why does it drop from hours to minutes?
Okay, let's break it down.
Think about researching a long report, right? A human has to read 10 different documents, highlight the important parts, think about how they connect, and then slowly type out a summary. That takes, 4 hours.
Easily 4 hours.
But the AI can read those 10 documents instantly, understand the connections instantly, and generate the summary in 30 seconds. That is the jump from hours to minutes.
It is an incredible compression of time.
Yeah.
And the text says this time compression goes far beyond just office work.
Where else does it go?
It says that in manufacturing, we may see factories become highly automated or even human-free production systems.
Okay, wait a minute. Human-free factories. I have to push back here.
I knew you would.
That phrase sounds incredibly dystopian to me. Are we talking about a dark, silent building with literally 0 humans inside, where robots just build things in the dark?
It does sound spooky when you put it like that.
Or does this just mean humans are moved out of the dangerous areas and into an observation room? Because a totally human-free factory sounds like a scary science fiction movie.
The guide is really pointing toward the reality that the physical floor of the factory, the place where the heavy lifting, the welding, and the dangerous assembly happens, well, that area will not need human muscle anymore.
Okay, so where are the humans?
The humans will likely be in the control rooms, designing the process and maintaining the AI. The manual labor on the floor becomes human-free.
That makes more sense.
And because machines do not get tired, the text says productivity in some of these industries might increase 5 times or even 10 times over.
Increasing productivity by 10 times is staggering. It makes me think of an analogy to understand this shift.
What's the analogy?
Think about the day a family got a modern washing machine in their house for the very first time. Before that washing machine arrived, washing clothes was heavy, exhausting physical labor.
Oh, absolutely.
It took an entire day. You had to boil water, scrub the heavy wet fabric, wring it out by hand, and hang it up. It basically consumed your life.
It was pure, repetitive physical labor.
Right. Then you buy a washing machine, you throw the clothes in, you press one single button, and you walk away. The machine handles the physical labor.
Yes.
But here's the profound insight we are getting at. AI is doing the exact same thing, but for our mental labor.
That is a brilliant way to frame it. The washing machine freed human arms and backs from heavy, repetitive, boring tasks.
Exactly.
And the guide promises that AI will do exactly the same thing for the human brain. The text says explicitly, AI will help people reduce repetitive mental labor.
But this raises an immediate, almost panic-inducing question for the listener.
What is that?
If the mechanical machines are doing the heavy physical labor and the AI software is doing the repetitive mental labor, well, what is actually left for the human being to do? Does the text say human beings are useless now?
The text addresses that fear directly. It clearly states, of course, this does not mean human beings are useless.
Oh, good.
In fact, it argues the exact opposite. It says that by removing the boring work, human beings will finally have more freedom.
Freedom to do what? Exactly. Like, what is a human supposed to do all day?
Well, the guide gives us a very specific, beautiful list of what humans will focus on. Once we are free from acting like machines, the text says humans can focus more on creativity.
Creativity,
We can focus on high-level strategy. We can focus on human communication, on deep care, on design, on leadership, and on wisdom.
Let's really look at those words because they are so important. Creativity, strategy, communication, care, design, leadership, wisdom.
They are very powerful words.
Those are deeply, exclusively human things. Think about it. A washing machine cannot show leadership. An AI text generator cannot show true human care for a sick patient.
Precisely. This represents a profound psychological shift in how we view work.
It really does.
For the last 100 years, many human beings were basically paid to act like machines. We were paid to do repetitive, boring, robotic tasks.
That's so true.
Now the machine is doing the machine's work. And we are being pushed to be completely, genuinely human again. That is why the text states that AI will deeply change the productive forces of society.
That sounds beautiful in theory, Focusing on wisdom and creativity sounds like a wonderful life. But let's be fiercely realistic for a moment.
Okay, let's be realistic.
If AI is suddenly doing all the repetitive mental work, what happens to the real people who currently rely on those repetitive jobs to feed their families today? What happens to their paychecks tomorrow morning?
Yeah, that is the tough part.
And that uncomfortable truth brings us to our next major topic.
The rapidly changing job market. And the source guide does not hide from this uncomfortable reality. It faces it head on.
I appreciate that about the text.
It clearly states a historical truth. In every major technology revolution, some traditional jobs disappear, but new jobs also appear.
So let's talk about the specific jobs the text says might face serious pressure right now. It mentions 2 distinct groups of workers who have a valid reason to be worried.
Who's the first group?
First, it mentions programmers. It says programmers may feel pressure because AI can already write code.
We really need to understand why this is shocking. For the last 20 years, we told everyone to learn to code right.
Yeah, everyone said that.
We said computer programming was the absolute safest job in the world. But if you spent years learning how to type complex computer languages, and now a generative AI can write that exact same code in 3 seconds just by being asked in plain English, well, that is a massive source of pressure.
It completely flips the script on what a safe job is. And the second group the text mentions is office workers.
Right, office workers.
It says some office workers may feel pressure because AI can easily summarize long documents, write professional emails, and analyze large amounts of data.
Imagine a person whose entire job, from 9 to 5, is reading 50-page reports, finding the 3 most important numbers, and putting them into a spreadsheet for their boss.
That is a very common job.
An AI agent can do that perfectly in seconds. So the fear is not imaginary. It is real. The text says clearly, some traditional jobs may be reduced.
If I am an office worker listening to this deep dive right now, hearing that AI can read my reports and write my emails sounds like terrible news. The immediate thought is, I am going to be replaced. How should I handle that fear?
The guide offers a very powerful shift in perspective here. It says the primary issue is not whether AI will replace people. It suggests we are actually asking the wrong question.
Well, what is the right question we should be asking ourselves?
The text asks, can we become people who know how to work with AI?
Work with AI. Okay, so I need to stop looking at the computer as my competitor. It is not me versus the AI in a race. It is me driving the AI.
The AI is the vehicle. You are the driver. And the text gives several concrete examples to prove how powerful this combination is.
Give me some examples.
It says, a single person who has AI skills may suddenly be able to do the work of several people.
Wow.
It says a small team that uses AI tools may be able to build products much faster than a massive company that does not use AI.
Let's look at the other examples it gives. It says a student who uses AI support may learn complex topics much more efficiently.
Right.
A teacher who uses AI may design vastly better, more creative lessons. A researcher with AI may analyze scientific data years faster. A business owner with AI may serve their customers much better. The secret is basically adding AI to whatever you already know how to do.
And because humans are starting to work with AI tools, entirely new categories of jobs are being created from scratch.
New jobs.
Yes. The text provides a list of these brand new jobs. Let's look at them closely, because this is the titles you will see on job boards tomorrow.
Yes, let's deep dive into this list of new jobs from the text. I really want to build a picture of what these people actually do. The first new job listed is AI product manager. What does an AI product manager do?
Well, think of a normal product manager. They figure out what a customer wants to buy.
Yeah.
An AI product manager is someone who understands a human problem and then figures out exactly how a new AI tool can be built to solve that problem. They sit right between the computer engineers and the everyday customers, managing the creation of a smart product.
That makes sense. The next new job on the list is AI trainer. Now wait, how do you train a computer? Are we training it like a dog?
It is actually a great comparison. Just like a dog needs a human trainer to learn the difference between good behavior and bad behavior, an AI model needs humans to show it what a good, safe, accurate answer looks like.
Oh, I see.
And it also needs to know what a dangerous or wrong answer looks like. The AI trainer provides the feedback that makes the AI safe for the public to use.
That sounds like a very important job. The third new job is AI workflow designer.
Right. So imagine walking into a struggling, messy small business.
Okay, I can picture that.
An AI workflow designer looks at how that business operates step by step. They see how the emails are sent, how the inventory is checked, how the customers are billed.
And then what?
Then they design a brand new system. They figure out exactly where an AI agent can be placed to make all those steps faster, smoother, and cheaper. They basically redesign how work flows through the company.
The fourth job listed is prompt engineer.
Now, a prompt engineer is highly skilled at talking to the AI. We talked about giving instructions earlier, right?
Yeah, we did.
A prompt engineer knows the exact words, the exact sequence, and the exact context to type into the AI to get the absolute best, most accurate results. It is literally the science of knowing the perfect way to ask a machine a question.
Fascinating. The text also lists AI automation specialist.
This person's job is basically to hunt down repetitive, boring tasks inside a company.
Like a detective.
It's exactly like a detective. Whenever they find a repetitive task, they use AI tools to automate it. They build a digital bridge so the task happens automatically in the background, forever, without a human ever needing to click a button again.
And the final new job the guide mentions is AI agent developer.
We discussed AI agents earlier. Those are the tools that can think and act independently to solve goals.
Right, the ones making decisions.
Yes. An AI agent developer is the specialized software builder who actually creates those independent, thinking programs for businesses to use.
That is a fascinating list. AI product manager, AI trainer, AI workflow designer, prompt engineer, AI automation specialist, AI agent developer.
It's a whole new world.
It really reminds me of the early days of the internet. Before the internet, the job title web designer did not exist. People probably thought it sounded like a made-up job.
Oh, they definitely did.
But now, it is everywhere. The same thing is happening right now with these AI jobs. But to get to a place where we can actually do these jobs, we have to realize a very fundamental truth about the future.
What is that truth?
AI is not going to be a special rare tool. It is going to become completely boringly normal.
That is a very accurate way to describe the transition, and the guide uses a powerful analogy to explain this. It leads us into the concept of AI as the new electricity.
AI is the new electricity. That is a huge statement.
It is.
The text says that in the future, AI may become as common as electricity, as water, or as the internet. Let's think about electricity today. We rely on it every single minute of the day.
We really do.
You walk into a dark room and you flip a switch, the light comes on, you open the refrigerator to get food, you plug your phone into the wall. You never stop and say, wow, the electricity is amazing today.
No, you don't even think about it.
Exactly. It just silently supports your entire life.
And the guide predicts that AI will become exactly like that invisible electricity. It introduces a term for this, actually. It calls them intelligent services.
Intelligent services.
Yeah, the text states that people may use intelligent services every day for totally normal, boring things. You will use it for your daily shopping. You will use it for driving your car. You will use it for managing your physical health. You will use it to organize your family life.
It will just be running in the background. And the guide mentions something very specific about how we will consume this. It talks about AI tokens and computing power.
Right.
It says these will become daily resources. Think about your water bill, you know?
Yeah.
You pay for how many gallons of water come out of your tap. The text suggests that in the future, you might use AI tokens as a daily resource. You consume a certain amount of machine thinking every day.
Yes, intelligence will be metered and used basically like a utility.
Yeah.
But providing this massive amount of daily intelligence to billions of people has a severe hidden physical cost.
Right, the physical cost.
The text is incredibly clear about the physical requirements needed to actually run all of this AI.
Right, because AI is not magic. It is easy to think of AI as a ghost living inside our phones, you know, just floating in the cloud. But the cloud is just a building full of computers.
Very big, very hot computers.
Exactly. The text emphasizes that AI needs huge computing power. And because it needs huge computing power, the physical buildings called data centers will become vastly more important.
Data centers are enormous warehouses. They are filled with thousands and thousands of heavy computer servers.
And what are those servers doing?
Well, because AI is doing complex reasoning, breaking down problems and doing millions of mathematical calculations just to write a simple poem, those computers run incredibly hot. They must run constantly. And all of those machines and the cooling systems needed to keep them from melting, well, they require a staggering amount of energy.
Here is where the text gets incredibly interesting and almost shocking to me. Every single time you ask your AI assistant to summarize a PDF or write a quick email, you are pulling energy from one of these massive data centers.
Yes, you are.
Your digital convenience has a massive physical footprint. The text points out this extreme energy demand. It says society may need much more advanced energy systems to survive this era.
Like what?
It specifically mentions we will need renewable energy. It says we will need better batteries. And it even says we may need small modular nuclear power plants.
The nuclear power.
Yes. It is absolutely wild to think we might need to build a nuclear reactor just to power the AI that helps schedule our weekly meetings. I mean, does this mean a piece of software is actually changing the physical hardware of our planet?
Well, if we follow the strict logic of the guide, the answer is absolutely yes.
Wow.
AI is a digital tool. It is software. But this software is so intensely powerful, and it requires so much heavy computation that it forces massive physical changes in the real world. We literally have to build new physical power plants.
That is just incredible to think about.
We have to invent new chemical batteries. We have to rewire entire national energy grids just to handle the load.
The text states this explicitly. It says, AI will not only change software, it may also change hardware, energy, transportation, education, and manufacturing.
It is touching everything.
It really is. It is a digital brain that requires a massive, heavy, physical body, like a huge physical infrastructure, just to survive.
That is the exact mechanism of the change. And this combination of advanced invisible software running on massive physical hardware will eventually make its way right through your front door.
What do you mean?
It'll end up inside your own home.
Which brings us to perhaps the most deeply personal part of our deep dive today. We are moving from the massive global scale of nuclear power plants all the way down to the intimate scale of your family living room.
Right, let's talk about robots and assistants in everyday life.
Yes. The guide spends time discussing the very practical daily applications of AI and robots. It brings the technology down to the human level.
The text says that physical robots may become family assistants.
Now, what will a robot actually do in your house?
Well, the list the guide provides is very grounded. It says robots may help clean the physical house, they may take care of elderly people, they may help children learn, and they may provide physical support for people with disabilities.
I really want you to notice the heavy physical and emotional nature of those tasks. Cleaning, caring, supporting. We have moved far past an AI just generating text on a screen.
Far past it.
We are talking about an AI inside a physical body, moving through the real world, interacting with human families, and performing real acts of care.
And for the tasks that do stay on the screen, we will rely on digital AI assistants.
What will they do?
The text says these AI assistants will manage the flow of our days. They may help us carefully schedule our time. They can organize our messy documents. They can prepare detailed lessons for teachers. They can write complex reports for office workers.
And very importantly, the text highlights exactly how AI can be a powerful tool for learners. It specifically focuses on how it can help people practice learning English.
Yes, the guide is very detailed here, and it is a perfect example of a daily application. It says AI is already incredibly useful for English learners, and it lists exactly how you can use it right now.
Give us some of those examples.
Well, you can type a sentence and ask the AI to correct your grammar. You can ask it to explain difficult vocabulary words in simple terms. You can ask it to create custom listening quizzes just for you. You can practice back and forth conversations with it, and it can really help you learn to speak more naturally.
What is fascinating about this example is that it shows how AI can be a uniquely patient teacher.
Uniquely patient, yes.
A human teacher might get tired if you ask them to explain the exact same vocabulary word 10 times. But you can ask an AI to explain it 20 times in 20 different ways, and the machine will never get angry.
Nope, never.
It will never judge you. It is a perfectly personalized, endlessly patient tool.
But I want to pause and reflect on how personal all of this really is. We are not just talking about big businesses maximizing their profits anymore.
No, we aren't.
We are talking about having a machine sit in your living room and care for your elderly mother. We're talking about a machine correcting your child's grammar.
That is incredibly intimate.
Exactly, because AI is entering such deeply personal, intimate spaces like our families and our homes. It is completely natural that people are reacting with strong emotions.
Yeah.
It makes total sense that people are starting to feel scared.
The author of the guide understands this emotional reaction completely. The text does not ignore human feelings. In fact, it dedicates a whole section specifically to the psychology of AI.
I think that's one of the best parts of the guide.
It addresses the real emotional impact this technology has on everyday people. The text states very kindly, some people feel afraid of AI. This is understandable.
It validates the fear.
And then it actually lists the specific common fears that people are carrying right now. Let's look at the questions people are asking in the dark, according to the text.
The first fear is the one we already explored deeply. Will AI take my job? It is the fundamental fear of losing your livelihood.
The second fear is about human nature itself. Will AI make people lazy?
That's a big one.
Think about it. If a physical robot cleans the house and a digital AI writes the emails and does the homework, will humans just sit around on the couch doing absolutely nothing? Will we lose our drive?
The third fear is even larger, really, dealing with power. Will AI control society?
Oh, wow.
If AI agents are making decisions in hospitals, managing factory production, and routing traffic, who is really in charge of the world? The humans or the machines?
The fourth fear is a deeply personal anxiety. Will I fall behind? If I don't learn how to use these tools fast enough, will I be left in the past while everyone else moves into the future?
And the final fear listed addresses a generational divide. Will young people have more opportunities than older people?
Like an age gap.
Exactly. Will this technology create an unbridgeable gap between the youth who understand it and the older generation who might really struggle with it?
The text validates every single one of these fears. It says clearly, these are real questions. It doesn't tell you that you are silly for being afraid.
Right, it doesn't dismiss you.
But then it pivots. It gives a very strong, necessary piece of advice. It says that while the fear is real, panic is not useful. And it says that rejecting AI, basically trying to block it out of your life, is also not useful.
We really need to explain why rejecting it is not a viable strategy. According to the text, the reason rejection fails is because no one can fully escape this trend.
You can't run away.
No, you cannot hide from it. The text reminds us of where AI is going. It is coming into our mobile phones, our personal computers, our cars, the websites we visit, our schools, our hospitals, our factories, and our offices. It is becoming part of the very fabric of reality.
Saying I hate AI right now is exactly like standing outside in a thunderstorm and yelling, I hate water.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You can yell all you want, but you are still going to get wet. The rain is falling whether you like it or not. The text suggests that since we cannot stop the rain, we need to build an umbrella. We need a totally different mindset.
We need a healthier way to think about this.
Exactly.
Instead of blind rejection and panic, the text offers us a set of new, positive statements. These are statements we can practice saying to ourselves.
Let's hear them.
These phrases are designed to move human psychology from a state of panic to a state of empowerment.
Let's read these healthier statements straight from the text. Instead of throwing our hands up and saying, I hate AI, we can change our perspective and say, I want to understand AI.
We can say, I want to use AI wisely.
We can say, I want to protect my privacy. I think this one is incredibly important, honestly.
Why is that?
It shows that we do not have to just surrender to the machine. We can still be careful, set boundaries, and be safe while using the technology.
That is a great point. We can also say, I want to improve my skills.
And finally, the most powerful statement of all, we can say, I want to become more valuable in the AI era. I absolutely love that framing.
You do.
I want to become more valuable. It changes the whole narrative from being a victim of technology to focusing on your own personal growth.
This psychological mindset shift is the foundation of the entire guide. But, as the text implies, having a positive mindset is really only the beginning.
Right.
It is a great starting line, but is not the finish line. The obvious question remains, how exactly do we become more valuable?
That is the million-dollar question. And thankfully, the source material does not just leave us with positive thoughts. It gives us a clear, actionable map.
The real map.
It outlines 5 very specific, practical steps for the learner.
These 5 steps form a real action plan. If you follow them, you move from being afraid of the era to actually mastering it. Let's break these 5 steps down slowly and methodically, spending time to really understand each one.
Step number 1 from the text. Learn the basic concepts of AI.
The text is very careful to clarify what this means. It explicitly says that you do not need to become an AI scientist immediately.
Oh, thank goodness.
You do not need to go back to school to get a university degree in advanced computer science. But you do need to understand the basic boundaries. You must understand what AI can do, and equally importantly, what AI cannot do.
I think knowing what it cannot do is actually the secret to lowering your anxiety.
How so?
Well, if you believe the AI is this magical god that can do everything, you will be terrified of it. But if you learn its limits, if you learn that it struggles with certain logic puzzles, or that it cannot physically fix a broken pipe, you suddenly see it for what it really is. It is just a tool.
Exactly. Knowing the limits removes the magic, and removing the magic removes the fear, which brings us smoothly to step number 2. Practice using AI tools.
The text says we need to actually get our hands dirty. It says you should use AI to write things, to summarize long articles, to translate languages, to write simple code, to search for new ideas, to make images, to organize your weekly plans, and to learn English.
Basically, use it for everything.
The theory is that the more you practice with it, the more comfortable you become. You cannot learn to ride a bicycle by reading a book about bicycles, you know?
No, you have to get on it.
You have to sit on the seat and pedal. You have to open the AI chat box and type a prompt.
Practice builds daily familiarity, and familiarity destroys fear. But step 3 is perhaps the most critical, serious warning in the entire text.
Okay, what is step 3?
Step 3 is develop your own human judgment.
Develop human judgment. Why does the guide highlight this so strongly?
Because of the danger. It states very clearly, AI can make mistakes. AI can give wrong information.
This is a vital mechanism to understand because a large language model sounds so incredibly smart, and because it generates text with absolute perfect confidence, well, It is dangerously easy for a human to believe every single word it says.
It is very easy to get fooled.
But the text warns us strictly, so we should not blindly trust everything AI says.
Do not blindly trust the machine. It might sound confident, but it can be completely wrong. To protect ourselves, the text lists 4 specific things that are still completely mandatory for humans to provide. 4 things a machine cannot do for us.
What are they?
They are human thinking, fact-checking, ethics, and responsibility.
Let's define what those actually mean in practice. Fact-checking means you must look at the beautiful summary the AI gives you, and you must independently verify if those facts are actually true in the real world.
Yes.
You cannot outsource your truth to a computer. Ethics and responsibility mean that if you use an AI to write a report for your company, and that report contains a terrible error that costs the company money, you are still responsible.
You can't just blame the computer.
Exactly. You cannot blame the machine.
The human being must always remain the boss of the machine. The AI is the assistant, but the human carries the final responsibility.
That's a good way to put it.
And realizing that the human is still essential leads perfectly into step number 4. Build skills that AI cannot easily replace.
We touched on this concept earlier when we talked about the washing machine analogy, but the text provides a very specific, actionable list of these irreplaceable human skills.
Yes, it does.
If you want to survive the job market, this is where you focus. Let's examine the list. Creativity, communication, leadership,
Emotional intelligence, critical thinking, hands-on ability.
domain knowledge, and moral judgment.
I really want to unpack a few of those to show the difference between a human and a machine.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's look at emotional intelligence. An AI can write a perfectly polite email saying, "I am sorry you are sad." But an AI cannot truly feel empathy.
Right, it doesn't feel anything.
Exactly. It cannot look at a stressed coworker, read their body language, and know exactly how to comfort them. A human can. What about hands-on ability?
Hands-on ability is pure physical reality. An AI inside a computer server cannot come to your house and fix a broken water pipe.
No, it cannot.
It cannot build a wooden cabinet. It cannot perform physical surgery. A human plumber, a human carpenter, a human doctor, they have hands-on ability.
And then there's moral judgment. An AI does not actually know right from wrong in its heart.
It doesn't have a heart.
Right. It only knows what words mathematically follow other words. A human being has a conscience. A human understands justice and fairness.
By choosing to intensely focus on these deeply human skills, the things machines fundamentally cannot do, you guarantee that you will always be valuable to society, no matter how fast the computer chips become.
And that profound realization brings us to the 5th and final practical step in the guide. Combine your professional field with AI.
The text makes it absolutely clear that AI is not just a toy for computer scientists in Silicon Valley.
No, it's for everyone.
It is for everyone, and it lists very specific examples of how different people can combine it with their lives.
It says maybe. If you are a teacher, learn AI specifically for teaching. Use the tool to make more creative, engaging lesson plans for your students.
If you are an engineer, learn AI for engineering. Use it to check your math and design stronger bridges.
If you are a researcher, learn AI for research. Use it to scan thousands of scientific papers just to find the one fact you need.
If you are a business owner, learn AI for business. Use it to understand what your customers want faster.
If you are a student, learn AI for study. Do not use it to cheat. Use it as a private tutor to help you understand hard math problems.
Right. The secret to this era is combining what you already know with this powerful new tool.
The text concludes this instructional section with a deeply powerful summarizing sentence. It says, "The best future may not belong only to AI experts. It may belong to people who can combine AI with their own field."
That is arguably the most encouraging message in the entire guide.
I agree completely.
It means you do not have to throw away your past. You don't have to throw away all the years of experience you have in your current job. You just add AI to your existing tool belt.
You upgrade yourself.
You upgrade your own capabilities. You are not trying to compete directly in a foot race with a supercomputer. You are simply using the computer to become the absolute best, fastest version of your professional self.
It completely changes the internal narrative, doesn't it? It shifts the human mind from a dark fear of replacement to an exciting vision of enhancement.
As we start to wrap up our incredibly deep dive today, I want to briefly recap the major milestones we have covered from this guide, How to Face the AI Era. We've traveled a really long way.
We started by looking at the timeline. We learned that we are entering a rapidly moving new era. transitioning from simple generative chat tools in 2023 to powerful independent AI agents making decisions in real industries in 2026.
We learned that this AI revolution is not just a small software update. It is a historical shift as massive and as world-changing as the invention of the steam engine or the creation of the internet.
Yeah.
We saw how it is going to massively increase human productivity, taking heavy, repetitive mental tasks that took hours and finishing them flawlessly in minutes.
We face the uncomfortable reality that the traditional job market will inevitably change. Some jobs that rely on repetitive mental labor will be reduced, but exciting, entirely new jobs, like AI workflow designers and prompt engineers, are already appearing.
We discussed the fascinating idea that AI will become just like electricity. It will be a daily, invisible resource running quietly in the background of our lives.
Which means our physical world must change to support it.
Right, requiring massive new data centers and advanced energy systems.
And we explored how physical robots and digital assistants will cross the threshold of our homes to help us clean, to care for our families, and to patiently teach us new skills like English.
But most importantly, out of everything we discussed, we learned that panic is a useless emotion. We cannot stop the rain.
No, we cannot.
We must face this technological innovation directly. We must embrace the AI era through practical, daily learning. We must practice using the tools, we must fiercely guard our independent human judgment, and we must dedicate ourselves to building our uniquely human skills.
The guide gives us a very clear, step-by-step path forward through all the noise.
Now, before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with one final, deeply provocative thought. It is the final metaphor presented in the text, and it is a brilliant way to frame everything we have talked about.
What is the metaphor?
The text says, AI is not only a machine, AI is also a mirror.
A mirror. That is a profound image.
It really is.
A mirror reflects something back to the person looking into it.
Mhm.
The text says this technology shows us exactly what kind of skills we need to improve. It shows us what kind of future we need to prepare for.
I want to take that insight one step further. AI is a mirror that strips away all of our repetitive, robotic busywork. If a machine can do your job, it reflects the sad truth that you were being treated like a machine in the first place.
Wow.
When the busywork is gone, the mirror forces you to look at what is genuinely, uniquely human underneath. It shows us that true learning, true human growth, never actually stops. So I want to ask you directly as you finish listening to this deep dive, when you look into the mirror of AI today, what uniquely human skill is it telling you to improve first?
Is it your creativity? Is it your ability to lead others?
Is it your emotional intelligence?
That is the ultimate question of this era. And it is a question worth thinking about very deeply.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We know the world is moving fast. We hope this slow, careful, detailed look at how to face the AI era has helped clear away the noise, remove some of the panic, and given you a practical path forward.
We highly encourage you to practice thinking about these ideas slowly. Let them just settle in your mind.
Take your very first step in learning today. Open a tool, try it out. Do not panic. Just keep learning. Keep practicing your human skills. And remember, we will be right here with you, learning and growing together as we step forward into this new era. Until next time.